The blue is good.
Yeah, look a little tan. You're live.
We're live. Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
We are a little late. Welcome back to Stro, Standing Room Only.
Episode number 3 on June 14th.
June 14th, we're finally live.
Yeah.
I'm Sheyne, of course, and this is...
I'm Victor. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, so, of course, a little debacle. We were supposed to go live on our regular channel. A couple of technical difficulties, so we're live on an old channel, and then we'll repost 2 hours. But since this is only our third episode, we don't really have anyone watching.
But each episode, we've been trying something new. The first one, we just did pictures. Second one, we recorded ourselves, then edited. And now we figured, let's just go live. Hopefully, there's one person listening.
Hopefully. But we'll get there. We will get there. So anyway, let's well, to start, we have we're gonna get into this game. What happened last night with the 9th inning rain delay debacle. And we have the
you have the game playing on in the background.
Yes,
so you will probably get a live reaction. Before you went live, the literal words they said is, why do we still have Diaz throwing in pitching? But whatever. We'll get into that in a couple of moments.
Yeah, right now it's top of the 10th, 4-4. So obviously we didn't do shit in the bottom of the 9th. And
there's a runner on second, no outs.
Because Ramos dropped the ball.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into our first real topic. And we'll keep going on with our live reactions to the game. David Ortiz, Big Papi.
Yeah, we hope he gets well. He was shot in the DR this past week. This past week.
Sad that we ended the show last week about Bill Buckner.
I know.
And then the first thing, like right after that, was
another Red Sox.
And I mean, they're my American League team.
Yeah.
But
I think the Red Sox are secretly every Mets fan American League team.
Oh yeah, we beat them in the World Series, and while they have many after that,
they're a crosstown rival.
Exact, the crosstown rival. Yeah. But that selfishness aside, we don't wish this upon anybody at all. And while there's many details that are coming out about it, we don't need to get into all that stuff and all the nitty gritty. We just wish him well for him and his family. He's whatever. I don't know about his personal life, but I do know the charity work he does is second to none, and he's helped a lot of especially children in need. And he's an ambassador to the baseball community, to the world, to the DR, and we just hope he gets better. It looks like he will. It does look like he will. At 2 surgeries. The Red Sox sent the plane for him, and I couldn't help but selfishly think that if God forbid something happened to David Wright, the Mets would be like,
"Oh God, I think that would be
okay. All right, we'll get better." But no, the Red Sox did the right thing. They sent the plane for him, brought him up to Massachusetts, to Boston, and he had his second surgery, and it looks like he's going to make it through. And we just wish him the best.
Absolutely. And
we love you, Papi. I've got to see him play many times, and at Yankee Stadium where we crush home runs in Fenway, and he's an awesome player. But on to a little piece of good news.
Yeah, so Wilson Ramos, last night at the game, his wife announced that she was pregnant. Mm-hmm. So she held up a sign. We got the exact picture of it that read, "We're pregnant, Wilson. This is your 3rd child. We love you." So maybe Junior Ramos, you'll be a Met one day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Piece of good news. It's very nice, very cool. And that's and there is a video of it if anyone's watched it where he's on the on deck circle, he reads it. The back kind of goes down to a smile. Then something happens in the game, and his attention turns back to that. But that's just kind of a cool way to let him know. And it's pretty awesome. So congratulations to the Ramos family.
Yeah.
And next piece of typical Mets news, according to Mickey Mouse, Jed Larry, quote, not close to being engaged yet.
This is pretty unfortunate considering the hype that was around him when we first signed him. At this point, $20 million for 2 years, and at this point, it's looking like a typical Mets signing that is not prevailing to anything.
And so far, at least, I mean, he's not going to come back for the All-Star break. So
no,
$5 million, we're pissing up our dicks.
But I mean, even so, I think at this point, what are you going to do? You can't argue for him to come back on the field. There have been players that stepped up. I think this gave the chance for McNeil to really establish himself as an everyday player. And
lately, the Godfather has not been too shabby.
Yeah, I got to give it to Todd Frazier. He's been playing well. I mean, he's the veteran on this team. He's probably second oldest, I would say, or
probably
amongst
he's definitely one of the elder statesmen.
And I think maybe that's what we needed in a young infield and outfield. Live reaction now where the St. Louis Cardinals scored a run. It's still probably the 10th one out, and Edwin Diaz is 35 pitches.
Wonderful. I mean, do you think Lowry's going to come back this year?
With Jed Lowry, maybe towards the end of the season. I don't think they're going to rush him back.
Yeah.
It was probably a waste of a year.
And also with Echeverria, he's been stepping up too.
Yeah.
At third base. So
he's good. He's a journeyman.
Covered.
This ball went under Rosario's glove.
Oh my God.
Unfortunate. There we go.
6'4".
Ooh.
Whoa! Ooh! I'm as excited as everyone else is watching that play. This week, I go down through the chair. All right, so we got the 6-4-3 double play with a beautiful stretch by Alonso, but it looks like they're going to contest it.
No,
he's on the bag. He's on the bag. Alonso, baby.
All right, well,
he had some really good defensive plays yesterday.
Yeah.
Love him. All right, so recent series as we go to commercial break. The Rockies, June 7th, we lost 1-5. June 8th, we won 5-6. And June 9th, we won 6-1. Yeah. Oh, and please excuse my voice. I was sick a few weeks ago, and then I basically got laryngitis this week, so I'm just coming back. But most people in my life are thankful they can't hear me now. But looks so far like your predictions are starting to come true, Victor. You're on the money so far.
All right. So in the last episode, if anyone listened, I said that the Mets would take the next 2 games of the series. Yeah, I know, right? But aside from that, I said that the Mets would take the next 2 games in the series, and that they would split the first series against the Yankees.
And you got it right.
In the second,
I did say they would split 2.
Yeah,
but then they get swept at home. But we're not there yet.
But with the Yankees, they lost a game 12-5, which we did have the lead in, which I was a little disappointed.
Yeah,
trying to let that go.
Yeah.
But you know what? Our guy Jason Vargas stepped up with the
MVP.
In his past 3 starts, he has a 1.64 ERA, averaging 7 innings. He is the best pitcher on the bench.
Beautiful, yes. No DeGrom, no Syndergaard. I need a Jason bobblehead. I guess I could take the Harvey one. Put some like mop top hair on it from like the foam from this, and just paint it a different color with his name, and then I guess that could be the Jason Vargas because Yeah. But I was there at that game. How sweet it was. How sweet it was. I was there with a bunch of coworkers and friends and whatnot. And, we're in the party deck. It's all cool. It's fun. And Mets got to a beautiful lead thanks to our boy Alonso.
I know.
Getting us off to a good start. And then, of course,
he's at 22 now? 22 homers?
22 now, I think, yeah. Of course, Jason was a little shaky.
Yeah.
But he held it down. He only gave up 3 runs.
Yeah, 3 runs, 2 walks, and he had 3 strikeouts, but he was efficient.
He was very efficient. He was very, very efficient. So it was just kind of cruising. It just, just being there in Yankee Stadium and sticking it. And I had a lot of coworkers who were a lot of Yankee fans, so I just kept doing this every time I scored. Because they're also big basketball fans. Yeah. And they were like, so it was so much fun. It was great.
They'll probably return the favor.
Oh, I'm sure they will. But at least return the favor from the morning game, from the afternoon game. It's just a lot of fun. And, Familia was like lights out.
That's a very 2015 thing to say. That he was
right.
Out.
I mean, he gave him one walk.
Yeah.
Whatever. And Gagnon gave up just one run.
Gagnon to close out the game, right?
Yeah. And Lugo was lights out. He struck out the side. And it was a hell of a game. And kudos to Jason Vargas because his 3-3 record is better than we ever thought it could possibly be. Yeah. So that was a hell of a game. So now we have
live reaction. So
bottom
of the 10th right now. Carlos Gomez grounded out, and we'll see who's up next.
Probably the top of the order. Oh, Echeverria. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if he can start a rally for us.
Is he pinch hitting? Probably pinch hitting. I think Garmo.
Yeah.
Gomez was 9th.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his stats now, he's batting 250, 4 home runs, 14 ribbies.
Nah, Amy's been good, and Carlos stepped up right lately, too. I have to take back.
We were tough on Carlos.
Yeah. I was especially tough on Carlos. And I was actually even worse on Echeverria because I kept bringing up his name as the prime example of the discount store.
I mean, but we still did shop at the discount store because I think Matt Kemp is about to start making his way on the shelf.
Probably.
All right, let's see.
Let's see what Adaney does. Silence on the feed. Hit right to the shortstop.
Ground out, 2 outs.
Easy play, 2 out. We're about to lose this game.
Yeah.
100-mile-an-hour pitch.
I know.
Shit.
It's pretty disappointing, honestly.
Yep, they're like, let's just get ready for the 7-10 game.
What did I have for this Cardinals series? It would take 3 or 4. I think I did have that.
I think 3
or 4. So
I have to find way with the paper, but yeah.
So now we're gonna win the next 3 if McNeil hits a solo shot right now, I'm buying a McNeil jersey.
Ooh.
I'm saying it live.
Ooh.
Live on the podcast.
Live on the podcast. Our audience of none will love that.
I know. So let's see right now.
Yeah.
Diaz about to take the loss right now.
Yeah, he's got to look of.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I feel bad for the Grom. I mean, because he had a quality start. And
he did. I mean, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, and then it was just a clusterfuck of Mets proportions because the rain started coming down hard. I was out in it, and then Alonso he put his glove in his jersey to keep it dry, and he's the one who kind of led the charge. Be like, no, let us play. Let's get these 3 outs. Let's get these 3 outs. And they brought the tarp out, and Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, was like, nah, put it back. So that takes time to roll it back. Yeah. Then they took the time to take the tarp that was on the the tarp they keep on the tarp. They ran in, then ran out, took that off, got back, and that caused valuable time. And the whole time, for what was it, 9 minutes, Diaz was standing there, soaked, not really doing warm pitches at all, if at all. And that's what did it. Then he has no grip, gives up hits. Gomez, that double down the line. The game over.
Game over.
Mets lose.
Yeah.
5-4 in extra innings over 2 days. And then, of course, Gomez has no slip and has no grip, and he slips and falls. Rosario, I think, probably was expecting it to tape a higher hop, but then those soaked grass missed it. And that run had been out by a mile. Yeah. It's like the dude throw. Had it been on point, they don't get that extra. They don't get the go-ahead run. Or the tying run, and then the game's over. And then, of course, Harrison batter between bases, he slipped and fell, so we got that out, and then it was just and delayed it, and then we just lost it. Oops, no, you're good.
Unplug it now.
Yeah, you're good. It was just. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, do you think like players will probably stay out of it? Do you feel good Alonso was fighting to keep the game going?
I mean, I think that shows the passion that he has as a player. And, I mean, yeah, we could say it now. I mean, hindsight's 2020. We could say, oh, we shouldn't have done it. But, I mean, even if we were able to get, 3 outs and, still save the lead, then we would have been happy. We'd have been like, yeah, that's the team that we are. But now what are we going to complain and say, oh, the Mets, they shouldn't have, Alonso shouldn't have been contesting that. He's a player. He shouldn't know about the field conditions. Like, no, these are all professional athletes. They want to play. They want to make the fans happy.
Agreed.
You kind of bite the bullet and you take a risk.
You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't, kind of thing. I mean, obviously, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah,
you have faith in your closer, which you should have.
And the thing is, Edwin Diaz, I am confident in him, but sometimes he just. It's like when he goes in, you're kind of on the edge of your seat, and you're not. It's not a good thing that you're on the edge of your seat.
With like most closers in Mets history, it's kind of an edge of your seat thing. Yeah. But I mean, I do think he probably would have closed it out. He had not if he didn't have to contend with the elements, and of course the 9-minute delay. Yeah. That's where it gets iffy because like if the crew chief is fine with the tarp coming out. Stick to your decision. I agree with you. Alonso, the other players, they had that passion, that faith in their closer. But if the ump's going to be the one swayed by the players, that's a little iffy because then the ump is saying, all right, they took the tarp out, and ump knows how long it takes to put it back, and then they got to do the kitty litter and whatever it is they're doing. They know what it's going to do to the players, and if there's no sign this rain's going to stop, you're putting the players at risk at that point. And I'm not trying to deflect and say, oh, it's the umpire's fault we lost the game. It's not. We didn't do shit. But I do find it questionable that Jeff Kellogg was swayed by Alonso and the team and knowing that there's going to be 10 minutes extra and then they're going to be playing in worse conditions. I think that's entirely irresponsible on a seasoned umpire's place and his fault. Yeah,
I agree. But going back, I mean, what our record now is that we'll be 33-34. After this, or we'll be 30. Yeah. 33-34. Yeah. So we're no longer 500.
We would have been 500.
We would have been 500.
So yeah.
So then we get another loss. Then we'd be 33-35.
Yeah. So we need 2 more games to get to 500, which is just typical Mets climbing, reaching, striving for 500, and being happy with that. And be like, oh, can we get to 500? No.
Yeah, we need to get to at least 600.
The Braves with their new acquisition. Now they're in first place, followed by the Phillies, then us, and the Nats are right behind us 2 games, and then the Marlins are stupid.
Yeah, but the Marlins did sweep the Mets.
Yeah, and they will continue probably. So then we have in
who's pitching tonight?
Excuse me, in about 40 minutes. Thank you. Best name in baseball, Daniel Ponce de Leon.
Yeah.
I am Sheyne Ponce de Leon. But right-handed pitcher, 0-0 record, 1.80 ERA, 7 strikeouts versus Steven Matz, 5-4, 3.88 ERA, 66 strikeouts.
Who do you have in this game?
I have the Mets.
The Mets? Okay.
I have the Mets.
Good.
What about you?
The Mets are going to come out? No, I need to have the Mets in these next 3 games. The Mets down the line.
Yeah, I think the Mets wake up. I
wonder how the clubhouse is now after losing this game. And it was like a 2-day loss pretty much, how they're feeling right now in the dugout. And I'm not sure who's trying to pep them up. I'm not sure if it's Mickey Callaway or maybe Todd Frazier or whatever the case, or maybe the young guy, Pete Alonso.
Maybe or Conforto. Should be Conforto. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll know in the first inning or two what the mood was, by how they come out there. If they're lethargic, if they're half-assed, if they're energetic, and if they just go for it.
And then
this rests on Matt's shoulders tonight. He's got to come out and make a statement. He's got to come out, challenge the hitters, throw heat, throw correctly, and he's got to go out there and put this shoulder on his team for the first 2 innings. Shoulder on his team on his shoulders, and just say, you know what, I'm going to start. I'm going to start us off.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see with the confidence he comes out tonight. But if we're looking into tomorrow's game, you'll have pretty much a pitching duel with
Waka.
Michael Waka and Noah Syndergaard. Both have pretty high ERAs, which is a little surprising for the caliber of pitchers that they are. However, I feel like every starter in the MLB has been struggling. At least all
the big aces, the number ones and number twos, a lot of them are struggling throughout MLB. So
it's fine. I'm hoping we can pick up the win at this. It'll probably be a better pitching duel.
I think so.
Yeah.
And but tomorrow you have the Mets.
I have the Mets.
I have the Mets again.
Okay, good.
I do think we're gonna split the series because on Sunday we have Dakota Hudson, 5-3 record, 3.47 ERA with 51 strikeouts versus Zach Wheeler, 5-4, 4.87 ERA and 99 strikeouts. So
that's going to be.
I got a feeling
that's the question mark on the schedule if we're looking at it.
Yeah, I think Hudson.
Yeah,
I think the Cards have that one.
Maybe.
But you have the Mets because you have that.
The Mets, like you said. I have to stick to my prediction. So Mets win the next 3.
Fair, very fair. And then we have the Braves on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. We're in Atlanta for that.
Yeah. I forgot. I forgot my predictions for that. Were we 1-2 or 2-1?
I think we're 2-1.
Okay.
Well, you had a generous offering of that's wins over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll face Keuchel because it would be poetic justice.
Yeah.
It would be the Mets to have Keuchel versus DeGrom, and Keuchel beats the shit out of him. Or maybe we'll get Keuchel versus Jason. And Jason will beat the shit out of Dallas, and then we'll all be like, see, we didn't have to get him after all. But I'll get a lot of those on the Mets fan pages that I belong to on Facebook.
Exactly.
So we don't have the starters for that. And so
we'll give our predictions later on in the week for that.
Yeah, so that's pretty much everything leading up to our next live broadcast, which will be on our actual channel.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring this up.
Okay.
Andy Martino, the little pipsqueak hipster from Williamsburg. Yes, he is from Williamsburg because I used to live in Green Point. I used to take the L train with him. Not with him because I don't know him, but I would feel little stuff. And he wrote an article in Mets blog entitled, quote, "It's long past time for Met fans to appreciate Chase Utley. Utley's career was so much more than his infamous slide." We're not going to read the entire thing, but my God.
What do you want to highlight?
What could we highlight? He basically goes down the road. He retells what happens with Ruben Tejada. No Met fan needs to be reminded of that.
Man, I remember watching that live. I was watching that live at my parents' house, and my mom was just like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't even know what's going on, but I think Ruben Tejada just broke his leg." Yeah,
I was like, "Ooh!" I didn't think at first he did because. Thankfully, you didn't see that snap in slow motion, but it was pretty bad. My favorite part of that though was David.
Yeah.
Because as Collins and the trainer and my chair's falling again.
You're right, bud.
Yeah, my fat ass. But as everyone tending to him, David just turned around like this, staring, eagle eyes right at Chase in the dugout, and I love that. And of course, afterwards, Chase only texts David. He doesn't text Ruben because Ruben didn't want to hear from him anyway. But it's just, and basically his article goes down all these things, and he had. Utley was on an LA radio show the other day, and a Mets fan called up and basically, told him how much he hates him and whatnot. And of course, he called her sweetheart, which in today's climate, you don't do that. And it really, because, the way he said it in any climate, even if it was 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was dismissive. It's his typical, the guys who like him, he's just a witty guy. To the people who see him for the piece of shit that he is,
he's an asshole.
He's an asshole. And they asked him, do you really hate the New York Mets? And Utley paused long enough to flash a subtle grin and say, I do. Yeah. I do. And Martino follows up with, Utley is a funny guy.
Yeah. Well, look, first of all, Chase Utley played for the Phillies and he was a Met killer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that's where the rivalry started. And then when you had that playoff series where he was part of the Dodger team, of course, he probably wanted to take out some frustration. Poor Ruben, because that probably offset his career. Not to say that he wasn't like our number one shortstop, but you did set him back. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's probably going to be in the majors.
No. No, I never liked Tejada. Funny, Mets fans hated Tejada until we came out of that game. But he's one of ours. We can hate him, you can't. But it goes on talking about how Carlos Beltran used to call him out. David Rice called him out for being a dirty player, and all these different things. And then it comes down to, it's fine to say that Utley slide Tejada was over the line. Plenty of serious baseball folks hold that opinion, but he wasn't trying to hurt his opponent, and probably wouldn't have if Daniel Murphy had fed the ball better to Tejada. So Andy Martino's putting on Murphy.
Yeah. Well, no, first of all, but then Chase Utley slid. He wasn't even in the.
This thing fucking barrel rolled.
Yeah.
He didn't even start to go down, so his head was over the bag.
He wasn't even going to be safe. That was the thing.
No.
He wasn't.
He never even touched the damn bag.
Yeah.
And Danny Murphy has fed the ball better to Tejada. It's not enough to inspire hate. Not that anything that happens in sports should lead to that particular emotion. But when it comes to Utley, the most rewarding feeling would probably be appreciation, perhaps even gratitude, that we got to watch a career as remarkable as his.
No.
Andy Martino, go fuck your little pipsqueak self, because clearly while you're in a New York beat and you've been relegated to covering the Mets in your, more successful career than mine, but regardless, in your little career that clearly you're not covering the team you want to cover, because no true Mets fan would ever say that. All the great writers that covered this team, Noble, all these other folks, never, ever would say that at all, because they know a dirty player when they see one. There are plenty of people, and we'll get into rivals in a little bit, that have faced our team that we hate. We hate Chipper. Larry. We hate him.
Yeah,
we hate Derek Jeter. We hate these people, but they never took it upon themselves to play in a fashion that was just shitty. And while, I was at actually Ryan Howard's last game in Philly, the last game of the year 2016, the day after we clinched at Philly for the wild card.
Yeah.
I got up and applauded, gave him his just due, as you do to a rival that, while I never liked him.
You still have to respect.
You respect it.
Yeah.
But he never, yes, of course, he supported his teammate Chase Utley in all his dirty plays. He never went out of his way to be dirty and disgusting like that. And so I had no problem. But had it been Chase Utley, my ass would have sat in that chair. Because I'm sorry, he transcends the game, but in the wrong way. David Ortiz transcends the game in a way where it's like, you know what? Even if you hate the Red Sox,
you got to tip your hat to.
You tip your hat to the man that he is. And there are some people who I find somewhere in between that. We'll get into that in another broadcast. There are people like Curtis Granderson, Grandy's kids, David Wright, all he does. There are people who just transcend the game in a positive way. And then there are people who you remember as being a prick. And Cy Young was a prick. And Chase Utley is a prick. And he does not deserve an award named after him because he wasn't good. He was excellent, but he wasn't that good.
Yeah.
but he'll probably end up in the Hall of Fame.
But I mean, if you really think about this whole Chase Utley story, I think Sheyne, it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's your fault that Ruben Tejada broke his leg, and why we're here talking about it. So,
yes, what a segue, because it's the truth. So
yeah, why don't you tell us what this is about?
Very soon, when they see me at Citi Field tomorrow, the Mets fans who did not watch the show but somehow know it's a story will kill me, and the show will just be Victor's show.
Yeah.
Back in, I believe it was 2008 or 2009. When was it? Shoot. 2008. I was working at One Life to Live, the soap opera that is now the canceled One Life to Live. And ESPN and ABC TV had the same parent company, Disney. So they had this great idea that what they would do is they would have promos for the upcoming ESPN fantasy baseball season shot in the style of soap operas. So they had several different players, Jorge Posada, what's the old Phillies announcer?
No.
The brown guy. Oh, my God. I can't remember him. Oh, my God. I'll remember his name after this. Funny guy, though. And several of the players, including Jorge Posada's wife, which let me tell you.
She's on it? Let's look her up.
Dude, he is lucky he's a baseball player. And she's a lawyer. She's got her own life going on. But Laura Posada, I mean, respect to that Yankee because damn. Anyway, I digress.
Continue on to the story. Stop trying to.
It's all right. So anyway, so Chase Utley was one of these people. And no one at One Life to Live knew anything about baseball. The writers are writing these horrible scripts the writers are great, but they didn't know baseball. They had well, of course, as the Mets, we know that not everyone just pitchers get Tommy John. They had like this whole segment on how like the position player was getting Tommy John and I'm like, no. So me and the EP were editing it and whatnot. So it was cool. So I kept running up and down revisions the day of. The old studio One Life to Live had these long, dark staircases. And the staircases were each about 2.5 floors each until you reached the landing. So I'm running down to bring revisions. I was a script supervisor. I'm running down to bring revisions. And there's no windows, there's no mirrors, there's no nothing, it's dark. I'm running down, I turn the corner, and who's running equally as fast up? Chase motherfucking Utley. So we go. Yeah. And what I did though was I handled, because all I knew was
you guys should have switched bodies.
At the last second, I knew that someone was coming, so I held onto the banister. So I kind of slid down, and then I see who it is.
Don't pull up the chair, please.
I might. I look, I see who it is, and he just goes, "Hey, man." I don't say shit. I'm like, that's right. It was 2008 because it was right before they won the World Series, and they kept going. So had I, this is my penance. Had I not stopped myself, and I kept going at full charge, I like Obi-Wan said, I had the high ground. If I got that bitch would have fallen 2.5 floors backwards. In a tiny little staircase where his neck might have this or something would have happened. I don't wish death or paralysis.
And then you could have told him, oh, that was your agent's fault for booking you on the show.
Exactly. Yeah. And his career, his season would have been over probably. They don't win the pennant. Yeah. They don't win the division. They don't win the pennant. Yeah. They don't win the World Series that year.
Damn.
Maybe Ruben Tejada's leg never got broke.
Maybe he'd be our shortstop still now.
Maybe we win the World Series.
Yeah.
So the butterfly or whatever effect of Sheyne Lee Benoit, the despicable, the not true Mets fan, on behalf of myself and only myself, I apologize. And Andy Martino, kiss my ass. But I'm Victor, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You ever forgive me?
I forgive you.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate you. That's Anthony DeComo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my story. So had I
was looking at the lineup. That's right. Good way to throw me under the bus.
Had I not stopped myself, I could have really put a dent in Chase Utley's career.
I know.
But maybe
imagine you would have been on ESPN. Imagine Chase Utley like breaks neck, and then you were I
would have felt like shit if I really hurt him. But like if I had broken his leg or his hip, I wouldn't have felt that bad.
Yeah, but even so, imagine the headline on it. Chase Utley breaks like walking up the stairs, bumps into
at a soap opera.
At a soap opera, bumps into
a Mets fan. I should have worn my jersey that day.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
He probably would have dragged you down.
Yeah, like I said hello to everybody, like Jorge Posada and everybody, like cool, fine. He was the only one who said hello. Oh, Crook, whatever, the guy who and all of them are mad cool.
Yeah.
But him, even though he said hello to me, I did not say hello back. I suck.
Should we go into tonight's game?
Yeah, what's going on tonight?
Yeah, so for tonight's game, game 69, 162. All right, against the St. Louis Cardinals today.
Well, hopefully 69 won't suck.
Yep. That's a good one, man. All right.
That's what she said.
So, Mets lineup for today, you'll have McNeil at second, Conforto in right field, Alonso at first, Dom Smith in left. Then we'll have Todd Frazier out at third base. Ramos is catching, Rosario at shortstop, Lagares at center, and then Steven Matz.
Not bad. It's probably the best thing we can put out there right now.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah. Except for maybe, I can't believe I'm saying this, except for maybe Gomez.
But, you'd rather have Gomez in now than Lagares? I remember we were arguing the other week that it should be Lagares.
Well, what I was arguing, who was the hot hand?
It was Lagares at the time.
And now it's Gomez.
Yeah.
But I get it. After last night, playing in the rain, who knows, maybe he slipped and hurt himself.
Yeah. I think we need some defense out there. So, I know Lagares is not his gold glove self.
I mean, I'm fine with that lineup. But
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping McNeil could actually. I mean, he's the one that ended the game, so I'm hoping he can start off this game.
Yeah. I mean, I love McNeil. He's in the running for the batting title. So I mean, I think we'll have Rookie of the Year. I don't think McNeil's going to have a batting title. I mean, how do you feel? We touched on this last week about the All-Star game and the thoughts of Alonso and whatnot. Do you know that they have a new format of voting now?
Well, I know the way I voted was through Google, but is that
they have like a finals round.
Really?
So the top 3 vote getters at a certain deadline from each position will then go into like a runoff.
Really?
To see who starts the game.
But then who votes? Is it the fans again?
I believe it's the fans again. Yeah.
Interesting.
But, right now, I think Alonso was 5th in the voting for first base. So, but yeah, it's very. I mean, it's kind of.
Hey, you know what? I'll take it.
It's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. God damn it, helicopter.
Chase all these people coming.
Yeah, I know, right? We got him.
Well, you know who got who? Jason Worth got. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything. Remember the rumor that Jason Worth was he slept with Chase Utley's wife?
No way. I never heard about that.
You should Google that sometime, along with the Derek Jeter tree of herpes.
Really?
Yeah, you should Google that sometime.
Anyways, let's. Do we go into our final question, or do we?
Well, no, the second to last question. Yeah. This is a short one. When you're back, it's like, oh my God, it's raining again. But it was showing last night.
Yeah.
But when you're back after a week, it's pretty good. Well, I mean, because we're always talking about like our entrance into the team and the years we've watched. Speaking of Chase Utley and rivals, who would you pick as the best individual player rivals we've had since you've been watching?
Since I've been watching?
Yes.
Wow. It's a good question. Now there's a bunch of dead air on this, but it's fine. I'm trying to think. I feel like actually no. It slips my mind. I would say maybe Ryan Howard in 2006 when he took the home run derby from David Wright. I feel like that's a good way to start it off.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that one. I thought of those 3.
Yeah.
But I did not think of that specific.
Yeah. Who knows where David would be right now? I mean, I'm sure he probably would have ended his career the same way, but it'd be cool if he had pretty much a
he had the 3 extra swings or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they always say that like that broke his career, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I believe that.
No, I don't.
But all right. Well, I mean, obviously, starting with our crosstown rivals, Derek Jeter was always a thorn in our side whenever we played. I mean, nothing more evidently than the 2000 World Series, which was before your time, but it was just miserable, absolutely miserable. He always came up clutch, and you can't. He, as any good player does, they turn it on when they're facing a rival, and he always did. What's another one?
How about this? He was a Met, but the fact that he was a Met made him a rival for fans. Jason Bay.
Really?
Yeah. I think because he was our guy, he was like our prospect. We had him, we let him go, and then he was this all-star, and then he comes back for the Mets, and he just like sucks.
I guess I don't know if I would call him a rival though. I mean,
maybe he was a saboteur. It was
fair.
Yeah.
Saboteur, maybe.
Yeah.
Albatross.
There you go.
He was an albatross. Jason Bay, the albatross.
Because I mean, look at his stats with the Mets, and he hit no more than 12 home runs after having a season where he hit 36.
I know, but I mean, we've heard that tale how many times?
Yeah, and now it's playing itself again with Cespedes. Anyways,
I mean, obviously we have Larry Chipper Jones.
Yeah,
who killed us for 15, 20 years, whatever it was.
I mean, Chase
loved
Utley.
hitting at Shey so much that he named his child Shey.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When they had the Shey Goodbye documentary in 2008, he was one of the only, if not the only, opposition player they interviewed for. He loved hitting at Shey.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was a hell of a rival. I mean, obviously, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Jimmy fucking Rollins. I hate Jimmy Rollins.
Really? Why do you hate Jimmy Rollins?
Because he's a fucking douchebag. He's such an asshole. You know what he did once? I forget if it was Chase or somebody else. When someone on his team, this is during the great rivalry of like 2007, 8, 9, someone on the team just celebrated when they did something great, come back to the locker room to see Jose Reyes' picture pasted on their locker. The base from Jimmy Rollins is a warning of how not to behave.
Wow.
Don't celebrate what you do. Meanwhile, every time Jimmy Rollins hit a home run, pop the chain, all that shit. And it's like, what's worse? Really be getting excited you made a great play or staring at your home run like a douchebag? Like, I mean, I leave both alone. It's good to have passion in the game. But this guy wanted to be the fun police. He was like Roger Goodell, except for the MLB. And he only did it versus – he only had an issue with Jose Reyes. He never anything else.
I guess that was probably his competition. Their opposing players.
Well, it was Reyes, position. Ramirez,
Yeah.
and Rollins during that time frame.
Yeah.
And obviously Reyes was the one that came up, I think, before. I don't know if he came before Rollins, but came up first and went down last, so he wins that battle.
Yeah.
But granted, he doesn't have a ring, and Rollins does, but whatever. So I hated him. And let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you. I mean, I was going to give you
the
next one.
Go, give me one.
All right, I was going to say Yadier Molina.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one, because I don't hate him. I respect him, but he's always been, and especially Wainwright.
Yeah, Wainwright.
Is Beltran one after he left?
No.
Considering he didn't swing in 2006 and then becomes a Yankee, which he said even when he joined the Mets, he'd rather be a Yankee.
Nah,
that hit close to home.
Beltran was my guy.
I know.
Maybe it's a little biased for me, but I wouldn't say that he's.
I wouldn't say a rival, but I'd say is. I always used to say after he was gone, like, if you wanted to win a World Series, bitch, you should have swung.
Yeah.
But he got it. God bless him, and he got it with the best possible team he could get it with.
Yeah. But
do you consider?
What question would you ask me?
Would you consider the following players actual rivals or more just nuisances? Clayton Kershaw.
A nuisance.
Bryce Harper.
Look, I kind of I like Bryce Harper. I think because of his attitude. I don't think now he's like a Mets killer.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with the Nationals he was, but even though, you look at, they never even made it past the first round of the playoffs.
Exactly.
So I can't be like, I hate on his success. He's borderline nuisance / rival.
Would you have put?
Yeah, he could become a rival. If after the All-Star breaks he starts just hitting home runs at Citi Field, then he would be a rival.
Would you have put Jason Worth at any point in either red cap in the rival category?
Yeah, I would.
More with the Phillies and the Nats?
Yeah.
Max Scherzer.
I think he would be a rival because he's trying to outshine our starting pitching. Yeah. What about you? Of those 4 players that you named?
I would put Harper in there just because, like any good rivalry, it's the back and forth. Sometimes you got us and sometimes we got you. And of all the players in recent memory, Utley, Rollins, Ryan, Shipper, Jeter, they all have us most of the time. We saw on occasion, but it's like 75-25, if that. With Bryce, it's pretty 50-50. Like, remember, Harvey owned Bryce.
Yeah.
Owned him. But then sometimes he owns some of us. We go back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, and Bryce said, you know, when we won the East in 2015, he's like, I hope they win the World Series. Mm-hmm. You know, like, why? It's your rivals. It's because you want to have that kind of competition in your division.
Yeah.
And so, well, he acts like a douchebag sometimes. I do respect him. I do like his passion for the game. And I would consider him a rival. Would I consider him a hated rival? No.
Yeah, that's why I was like in between. I was just like, I don't think I hate Bryce Harper to be like, oh.
Yeah. But Scherzer, yeah, I do. Yeah, we're coughing up a storm. But Scherzer, I definitely would as well.
Okay.
All right. You want to last to the will it so? Is there anything you want to add before that?
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, maybe we could probably get some live reaction to the game. How far into this are we?
We could. We're 40 minutes in. So
40 minutes in.
We still got a lot of it. We still got probably like 20 minutes till the game starts.
I know.
So that's probably gonna start.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's just answer this last question.
Yeah, well, it's so. So the question is, given the recent events of the broadcast team, who would you target to be the next version of Gary, Keith, Ron, and Steve Gale? I don't like Steve Gale.
Yeah.
Not as a human being, I think he's pretty awesome. As a broadcaster, though,
you don't like him?
Remember Kevin Burkhardt?
Yeah. Well, he was.
When you set that standard, it's like going from fucking Gary Cohen to Michael Kay.
Well, I mean, to start off this list, I would get Burkhardt back. If
we'll never get him back.
Yeah.
And that's the dream, is that he replaces Gary.
Yeah.
But he's a Fox man now.
Yeah. He's probably making much more money
than Gary, Keith, and Ron combined.
Yeah. Absolutely. And at the same
time, Ron's making a decent amount of money with the TBS.
Yeah.
But
I don't think SNY would ever be able to match Fox money.
No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. So I mean,
who would you? I'd want to see David Wright. I would want to hear David Wright.
You want to hear David Wright talk? Yeah. I can't do my way. Like, okay, here we go. It's like 2-0, and here we go. I'm David Wright. I've thought about that, and I don't see him doing it.
Or maybe like as a guest, like once in a while.
Yeah,
I'm doing a spot.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I can see.
I don't know. I feel like you got to remind fans of him.
I could see him more doing what Todd Zeal, formerly Figgy, does.
Yeah.
I could see him more in at SNY headquarters, not leaving New York, doing the pregame and the postgame. What about can I know eventually he's going to be a broadcaster? Though I feel like he'll replace Howard Reynolds eventually, and this is not a black thing. I don't mean it to be like a racial thing, but just because of that kind of like eloquence. Mm-hmm. Curtis Granderson.
Absolutely, I love Curtis. Yeah, that's such a good one.
I think Curtis would be. I know he will be.
Yeah,
an incredible, to the point where I don't think SNY can get him.
Really?
I think he's going to be pretty successful.
Yeah.
I could see him in the booth with ESPN.
Yeah.
He's approachable. Everyone loves Curtis Granderson.
And he played everywhere.
Exactly. And anyone who can't love Curtis Granderson, you have no heart.
Yeah.
You have no sensibility. You should just jump off a roof. But a high one. Make sure you get the job done. Because Curtis is he's Curtis fucking Granderson. As much as I would get down
to him. Jersey too, so
I know you did.
It was one of my first jerseys that I got.
I bought my ex-girlfriend his jersey because she loved him. I mean, I'm going to Granderson with the Yankees. Like, God damn, I wish we had him.
Yeah.
And I would love him to replace, I guess, like Keith or Ron. Obviously, the player analyst, so it would be Keith. But I just don't think we'll be able to get him.
Mm.
I could see down the road Syndergaard.
Really?
He's got that fiery, funny, dry wit Keith Hernandez like.
I feel like he would be like a savage on the broadcast. Like he would call out players.
Keith did that. Yeah. Keith has kind of mellowed in the last few years, but like Keith did that. Keith called people out, and so I could totally see Syndergaard doing that. As far as pitchers go, I don't know. What about
would you do Mike Piazza as a broadcaster for the Mets?
He was on the broadcast last night.
Yeah. How did you like the sound of that?
I like him in snippets.
Yeah.
I don't like him all the time. What about Johan?
Nah.
No?
I don't know.
He's very Curtis Granderson-esque in the sense of like his,
but I feel like he's
knowledge,
been away,
his likability.
I feel like he's been away from the game for so long that he like.
Keith left the game. Keith didn't watch the baseball game for 5 years after he retired. And then he was gone for another 10 or 15 before SNY came along.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Ari Dickey.
Oh, what I do? Yeah.
That is a knowledgeable and eloquent dude who played and who like went through.
So you would have a broadcast team of, let's say, R.A. Dickey, Curtis Granderson, and who else?
Ideally, I mean, obviously the ideal thing is that you want Kevin Burkhardt back.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin Burkhardt is out.
But we're not getting him.
Yeah.
I would say for the position player analysis, I would love Curtis Granderson. And when he's done, I would want Noah Syndergaard. He's a funny, dry-witted asshole. And I love that. But that's years away. So let's say the in-between, between now and 15 years from now, I'd want Johan or R.A. I would.
Johan and R.A. Interesting. Both great pitchers for the Mets.
At the same time.
Yeah.
They both. One had a no-hitter and one didn't, but the reverse got credit for it.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about you?
No, I would take that Curtis Granderson in a heartbeat.
Right?
I feel like that's a good one. That didn't even cross my mind. I would take the R.A. Dickey. Well, I would take the R.A. That sounds really
You would take the R.A. Dickey? Well then.
I would take R.A. Dickey.
Let me turn this camera off.
And then I don't know, maybe David Wright. I think maybe he gets a deeper voice and he can broadcast for the Mets.
Okay. I can get a deeper voice. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You don't like? You don't like David Wright?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to hear it. I would have to hear it.
Okay.
But then again, you know what? When he went to the booth after he left the game in his last game, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel like they want a pitcher, but if you get David Wright and Curtis Granderson, you're not going to turn that down.
Well, that would be a good duo.
But as far as the play-by-play goes, I don't think there is anybody that's in the pipe that is comparable to Gary Cohen at all. Because it ain't going to be Steve Gelbs.
No.
I mean,
it'd be a bit of a joke.
He barely pops up.
Yeah.
And they make fun of him on the air, and I'm always like, "Hi guys, it's me, Steve Gelbs," and it's just like, "Oh God!" And it's just funny when people say, "Hey, I miss Kevin Burkhardt" when he's walking around the stadium. It's kind of fucked up, but it is what it is. But obviously, Howie Rose is going to go down at some point. They all have to. They're getting up there.
Cliff Floyd.
Ooh, Cliff Floyd's a good one too.
Yeah.
Cliff Floyd's a good one too. How about we get Bonilla? Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah.
He's gonna need a paycheck after 2025? What is it?
What's the deal?
He's gonna need money, and I think he's been in the Mets payroll system for so long that I think
they won't even realize it.
They won't even. I mean, they're not gonna. Then they don't have to pay him probably much differently than what they already pay him, and they don't have to fill out any W-2 forms. They don't have to go through orientation. They don't have to do a background check. I think Bobby Bonilla
is going to be
the next Ron Darling of the booth, and when he's done with his Bobby Bonilla Day cash out, I think
and his Bobby Bonilla Day is coming up on July 1st.
You know what? How do you feel about that?
He's a fucking smart guy. I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
If someone said, "I'm gonna give you $1.2 million,"
but that's one of the greatest things that ever happened to the Mets.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, you tell me.
Because it freed up the draft pick that got us number 5.
David Wright.
Okay. No Bobby Bonilla Day, no David Wright. So, as indicative and typical of the Wilpons, that contract is let's push our financial problems to later. And as dumb as that is, smart on Bonilla's part and his agent.
Mm-hmm.
But it did get us David Wright. So you know what? Sometimes beauty comes out of misery.
Yeah.
It's not often, but it's occasional. And so we did get David off of that. So I guess I have no answer for the Gary Cohen.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of those kid broadcasters. Those kids are fucking good. Some of those kids are really good.
Really.
See,
I've never listened to any of the kids' broadcasts.
You know who I would get to replace Steve Gelbs like today?
Who?
Type in his name, Melissa Rodriguez Mets. Melissa Rodriguez, or as she's known in the Mets fan circles, Melrod. She was the old remember the old beautiful, gorgeous, perfect Latina translator, right?
Oh.
For Cespedes?
Yeah.
She's with the Nationals now because they give her a huge promotion.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I would have her be Steve Gelbs.
Wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Because she's in public relations.
Yeah.
She knows how to do social media. She knows how to. She has personal relationships with almost all these players. She's close with a lot of them. She's still close with a lot of them. And I mean, obviously, it does come down to be, it doesn't come down only, but it does help that you're easy in the eyes. That's the way the business works for both men and women. That's just how it is. But I mean, Steve Gelbs, maybe not. Yeah. But Kevin Burkhardt was a good-looking, chiseled dude. But Melissa Rodriguez, who is one of the Mets I miss the most in this world. She is. I think she would be amazing as the on-field analyst, as the on-field reporter, and they would give her a lot more to do because, again, she has relationships with all these players. She's extraordinarily close to.
And she's a Latino woman, so that would definitely bring
Latina.
She would bring some
Colombian.
She would bring some diversity out to this.
She would, and she's just. I wish I was her husband. He's a tall, handsome man with a beard, and. They're a perfect looking couple. Their kids are going to be top notch. They're going to look like you, Victor.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that R.A. Dickey now? So we're saying we both agree on Curtis.
Yeah.
And you want David Wright. I'm not completely sold.
And Bobby Bonilla?
I'm bullshitting about Bobby Bonilla. But I would say Curtis down the road.
Take Bartolo Colon.
Oh God. You know who would be good, but we won't get him from MLB. It would be Pedro.
Yeah.
Pedro's good.
Yeah.
Pedro's real good. Did you see him cry the other day?
Oh, for David
Papi. Oh my God, it was so touching. But I love Pedro. I mean, who doesn't love Pedro? All right, here's the starting lineup for the Cardinals: Matt Carpenter, Paul DeJong, Paul Goldschmidt, Marcelo Zuna, Yadier Molina, Harrison Bader, Dexter Fowler, Tommy Edman, and Daniel Ponce de Leon.
Sounds like he's gonna battle someone. Like pull out like a fencing sword and then start going.
I am Daniel Ponce de Leon. You killed my father. Today.
He'll draw a P.
You get that reference?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Are you the 6-fingered pitcher? Oh, we're stupid. We're entertaining ourselves at this point.
Yeah, no one's listening to this.
No one is. But you know what? They will on our channel. It's coming.
Did we get a view? No. There's a show?
Yeah, no, we didn't get a view.
Okay, good.
I don't think we got a view.
Nice. All right, well, it's good that we did the show live.
We did, yeah. It was fun. I think this is the way to go.
Yeah.
Kind of gives an energy.
We're at 53
minutes, which is
not bad.
Not bad. Well, let's see how Mats does this first. Let's see he make a statement.
Let's get a live.
That was a high inside strike for the first pitch of the game. All right, now we get there.
I know.
But yeah. Wait, so
no, Mats. All right, ball one. Should we cut it?
No, I mean, okay. So we want Granderson, we want David Wright, and we want Mel Rod.
Yeah, that would be.
And Gary Cohen just can't die.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'll take that. There you go.
There you go. All right. Well, let's go Mets. Let's hope that they pull this game out their ass and Victor's predictions can continue to come true. He's got his one loss. Now he's on the edge of his seat, which thankfully he didn't fall through this week. I did like 5 times.
Took the bad seat. Now you know how
that was cool. Well, now I got to mark it up so I know which one to give you. But that's my penance for not ending Chase Utley's career.
Oh, is that?
Oh,
and the Cardinals start off with a double
on the line. It looks like
the ground rule double.
Don Smith did not hustle for that.
Yeah, but he was going to get to that.
Yeah, the chalk.
The ball boy should have got it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, next week.
Yeah, on the next episode, let's talk about social media. You can follow us on standingroomonlyny on Instagram, Twitter. No Snapchat yet.
And Facebook.
And Facebook, though.
No Snapchat yet. What we will be introducing, hopefully this week, is either from both of us at the same time or one of us live streams on Instagram reacting to the end of every game, or at least the next morning or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can do it individually and whatnot. This way we can stay in contact with everybody.
Absolutely.
And as far as the YouTube channel goes, right now, please subscribe.
Explain what happened today, and then.
Long story short, I tested this live feed thing on my old channel from an old web series I used to do, and it was working perfectly. And then I went to go do it today. It was like, oh, you can't do it for 24 hours. So I didn't know that. My bad. So we're doing the old one and then reposting to the current channel. But please like our current channel. It's Standing Room Only, and it's Mets fans podcast. And please subscribe because we need at least 100 subscribers so that we can make our own custom-made URL to put on things and send out and have it be like YouTube /channel /Standing Room Only NY. But we don't have that yet. So please like and subscribe. Please share and click that bell icon so you can get notifications. But yeah, definitely on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Standing Room Only NY, and we have our personal accounts linked to that as well. So you can find us, you can rant about us, you can tell us what we're doing great, what we're doing terrible, and standingroomonlyny@gmail.com if you want to reach out to us personally. And
thank you for listening. And
thank you. All right, have a good week, everybody. Let's go Mets.
Let's go.
Bring back Melrod.
No, we're still on.
We're about to not be, but you decided to just kill the audience.